Close your eyes. Now imagine you can't open them again until morning, because outside, there's genuinely nothing to see. No streetlights, no porch light, no phone, just total, open ground darkness, and something out in it that can see you perfectly. So here's the real question. Why was the dark itself actually dangerous? Not just uncomfortable. One fossil skull, a young Paranthropus robustus, a close relative on the human family tree, still carries 2 puncture marks matched by researchers to a leopard's teeth. Ambushed, killed, dragged off to be eaten. This isn't guesswork. It's written directly into the bone, permanent, impossible to argue with. And this kind of predation wasn't a brief, early phase our ancestors quickly outgrew and left behind. Some of the more recent evidence suggests leopards were still successfully hunting members of our own genus, Homo, as late as 2 million years ago, long after we'd already started making tools. Even the most famous single case in this whole field still isn't fully solved. The skull known as the Tong Child, roughly 2.8 million years old, shows damage some researchers attribute to a leopard, and others argue matches the talons of a massive bird of prey instead. 2 very different killers. One unresolved argument. That's how difficult this evidence actually is to read. Here's why night specifically, out of every hour in the day, was the actual danger zone, and it isn't superstition. It's biology. Behind a leopard's retina sits a mirror-like layer that bounces light back through the eye a second time, roughly doubling what it can pick up in near-total darkness. Human eyes don't have that layer. Where a leopard sees a workable, if grainy, scene, a human is looking at almost nothing. And leopards do almost all of their hunting after dark. The darkness itself is the weapon, letting them creep within a few feet of prey that never sees them coming, never hears them, never gets a warning. Lions show the same pattern. A lion hunting alone in daylight succeeds less than 1 time in 5. At night, especially in heavy cover, those odds shift hard in the predator's favor. It isn't that lions and leopards became more dangerous after dark. It's that daylight was the one advantage a slow, poor-sighted, weaponless primate actually had, and night took it away completely. So picture it plainly. Every sunset, the balance of power in that landscape flipped, and your species was on the losing side of that flip. Before controlled fire, early humans spent close to half of every day like this, blind by any modern standard for hours at a stretch, night after night, for most of human evolution, with no real way to change it. Then fire entered the picture, and that's the exact moment the odds started to move. Fire didn't erase the danger. A predator can still see a fire-lit camp from a distance, but it changed what a predator was walking into: light, heat, a visible, defended perimeter instead of an invisible, undefended one. The first real edge humans ever held after dark. And there's a stranger side effect researchers point to. Controlled fire may have gradually pushed human activity later into the evening, an unusual pattern since almost no other primate does this, ourselves included, before fire came along. We didn't just survive the dark. We slowly started colonizing it, hour by hour. Historians have found something that might be the echo of exactly that shift. Before artificial lighting existed, people commonly didn't sleep in one long block through the night. They took a first sleep, not long after dark, woke for roughly an hour in the middle of the night, then fell into a second sleep until dawn. That waking hour wasn't wasted. Historical records describe people using it to talk quietly, pray, or just lie there and listen, half awake, half on watch, by habit more than choice. That specific pattern is only directly documented from medieval and early records, but researchers think it likely stretches back much further into exactly the kind of firelit, half-watchful nights this whole story describes. It only disappeared once artificial light made the whole night feel as safe and ordinary as the day for the very first time in human history. Every time you flip a switch, plug in a nightlight, or leave your phone's flashlight on the nightstand, you're finishing something your ancestors fire-started. You just automated the one job that used to require someone to physically stay awake, feeding the flames, watching the dark for eyes that were watching back, A job someone your family line pulled, in some form, almost every single night for a few million years running, without a single night entirely off. So the next time a strange noise in the dark makes your pulse spike for no obvious reason, before your conscious mind even catches up, that's not irrational. That's a few million years of very well-informed instinct, reacting to a threat that, for most of your species' history, was real, close, patient, and could see you a whole lot better than you could ever see it.